Maybe you rolled your ankle, perhaps you've got shin splints, or maybe you've been told the dreaded words, you need to rest for a few weeks. Suddenly you're sidelined, your training plan is out the window, and you're not sure what to do with yourself. If you've ever thought, I'm going to lose all my fitness, I'll have to start from scratch, you are not alone. Today I want to share why a running injury is as much a mental battle as it is a physical one, and how you can keep your identity as a runner intact whilst you heal. But before we go any further, let me say this. Always get your injury checked out by a qualified professional. It's tempting to Google your symptoms or take advice from strangers on social media, but everybody is different. Every injury is different. What might work for another runner might make things significantly worse for you. Listen to your body and don't ever push through pain thinking it's just a niggle. Often that little pain is your body's early warning sign, and ignoring it can turn a short recovery into months off. I promise you, your future self will thank you for getting proper treatment and taking the rest that you need now, rather than wishing you had later. Welcome back to Your Run Coach with GMacSpurr, the show where we dive deep into the mental side of running so you can feel confident, strong, and in love with running, no matter what is going on with your pace, your training plan, or life. I'm Gillian, hello, a running mindset coach helping runners stop second-guessing themselves and start running with confidence. And today we're talking about something that can shake even the strongest runner's mindset, being injured. More specifically, how to cope mentally with a running injury so you don't lose your runner identity, your motivation, or your joy. From working with many runners, I've seen there are usually 3 big mental stages you go through when you're injured. First one being frustration. I don't think that will come as any surprise. You're maybe annoyed at your body, the situation, maybe even at yourself. This is when negative self-talk creeps in. You then move on to identity crisis. You might start wondering if you're still a runner, if you're not running. Spoiler, you are. And then the third one is acceptance. This is when you start thinking about what you can do rather than what you can't. And I think in knowing these stages, it helps you recognize where you are right now and gives you permission to feel it without getting stuck. Here's the good news. You don't have to be running to be a runner. Your mindset, your habits, and your connection to the sport are just as important as your weekly mileage. Some things you can do whilst injured. If your injury allows, you can cross-train. Cycling, swimming, strength work. Stay clear of the injured area and make sure your physio has cleared you for that movement before you get started. Do not go making your injury worse with cross-training. But I really encourage you to see this time as an opportunity to get your body strong in ways that maybe you wouldn't have done if you were still running. Now, you may not be able to run. That doesn't stop you visualizing your runs. Stick with me here. Research shows visualization can improve performance and confidence. I recommend it to my one-on-one clients all the time, especially for race prep. It's a great way to feel the feels of being a strong, confident runner who is so freaking ready. For you, maybe it's visualizing your first run back, listening to your body, feeling your muscles moving, smiling as the wind rushes past you, soaking up that relief of being back. It might sound a little woo-woo, but I promise you, this is a secret weapon. And of course, you can still stay connected to your running community, and I highly encourage you that you do, whether that be online or in person. If you can't run your usual park run, can you volunteer instead? Same goes for the race you were training for. If you can't run it, can you volunteer at the expo or on race morning? Can you cheer your friends on and celebrate their wins? These things keep the runner part of your brain switched on, which makes it much easier to return when you're ready. Physical healing matters, of course, but mental resilience during injury is the key to bouncing back stronger. If you see this time as wasted, you'll resent it. If you see it as an opportunity to strengthen other areas, to learn patience, to deepen your mental skills. You'll come back not just healed, but more confident. Okay, journal time. If you're new here, each episode I give you a few journal prompts so you can work on your own running mindset. Grab a pen and paper. Here's yours for today. Now, we're starting off with a tricky one to begin with. Sorry for this. What does being a runner mean to me beyond race times and mileage? It's a biggie. Number 2, how can I reframe this downtime as an opportunity? Huge opportunity in this question. And then number 3, what is this injury teaching me? I am a firm believer in every experience having a lesson. So what is this injury season teaching you? I'd love to hear your answers. Come join the Your Running Coach with GMacSpurr Facebook community, or send me a DM on Instagram at GMacSpurr Coaching. Injuries are the worst. I remember when I had to take months off running because I raced through an injury and ended up unable to walk for weeks. Weeks! I couldn't walk, let alone run. Please don't do this. Don't run injured. You risk being out of the game for way longer. I was stubborn, immature, and should have had a DNS for that race. If you don't know what DNS means, it did not start. But my lesson has been learnt. I will never, ever do that again. And I don't wish it on anybody. It was a horrible, horrible experience. But I was so frustrated with my body, angry even. I'd worked all summer and all I could focus on was how I'd be starting from zero again. I'd worked so hard to get to this point, and now I was back to the beginning. And I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but we're friends. I took quite a few weeks to get out of my pity party. But when I focused on what I could do, I started feeling in control of my recovery. I did upper body strength work. I did daily mindset practice work. So that was journaling, meditation, breath work. And I stayed connected to my running friends. And finally, when I got back to running, maybe 3.5, 4 months after my race, I wasn't starting from scratch. Mentally, I was already ahead. And if injury has been messing with your head and you want to come back feeling stronger, not just physically but mentally, this is exactly what I help runners do with my one-on-one coaching. Send me a DM on Instagram or head to GMacSpurr.com and let's talk about getting your mindset back on track, because you are still a runner, even when you're not running. Bye for now. See you next week.